Okay, my free video recorder ended on me, so we got to do a part two. Gonna pick up right where I left off, gonna go back a little bit. We were talking about the transfer from potential to kinetic or from kinetic to potential energy. And so up until now, we've looked at transfers within kinetic or within potential from one type to another. Now we're gonna look at between the two. So roller coasters are actually a great example of this. And what we're going to look at here, so you see this roller coaster, which looks really fun or really terrifying, depending on how you feel about roller coasters. But we've learned that the greatest potential energy is the highest point, so way up here, and the most kinetic energy is the fastest. So as our roller coaster goes up and up and up and up and up, it's gaining potential energy, but it's likely not going very fast. Then when it hits the peak up here and it starts to drop, it starts to increase in speed as it starts to go down. Okay, now that increase in speed is increasing its kinetic energy, but it's dropping towards the ground, which means it's decreasing its potential. That's the change of potential to kinetic. So if we look at these two questions, when does the train on this roller coaster have the most potential energy? The answer would be when it's way at this peak. When does the train on this roller coaster have the most kinetic energy? It's actually when it drops way down here to the bottom, because that's where it's going to be going the fastest, right? It's picked up the most speed moving down that track, and it's where all of that potential that was up here has been converted into kinetic when it hits the bottom. So potential energy is converted to kinetic energy when that stored energy begins to move. The object now transfers from potential to kinetic. So think about it like you're sitting in bed, you have a bunch of kinetic energy, your body's transformed all that food, all that chemical potential energy into electrical potential energy, and you're ready to move. And then you start going, and you run and you run and you run. And when you hit your peak of running, you're probably really tired. All that potential energy, all that energy that you stored up is gone, but that's when you're going your fastest, okay? So we take that stored energy, we transfer it into our running little person here. Okay, almost done. Quick review. All energy is divided into two main types. We have potential and kinetic, and then we have subdivisions of each of those, which you should know as well. Potential energy is the energy stored in an object. Kinetic energy is the energy of a moving object or the moving particles within an object. Energy is never created, destroyed, or destroyed. It is always stored or transferred. This is called the law of conservation of mass. Make sure you've watched both part 1 and part 2. Sorry that this got so long. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, move on to the next set of activities. Thanks, guys.